Reynoso, who is Andy Ruiz trainer, who by the way just yesterday he trained Saul Canelo Alvarez, but he's Saul Canelo Alvarez's long time trainer, says that Andy will knock out Anthony Joshua in the trilogy. Now let me quote exactly what he said. All right, we're going to make Andy Ruiz a great fighter. He's going to be a great fighter. And one day we'll have to face Eddie Hearn in the Anthony Joshua trilogy. This time we're going to knock him out. So that's what Eddy Reynoso had to say. Now, Andy Ruiz Jr. has lost a lot of weight, or at least it looks like he's lost a lot of weight. They say he's lost over 20 pounds since he lost to Anthony Joshua. Andy Ruiz has not fought since he lost to Anthony Joshua. And they're saying that he's going to be fighting this April, probably against, one of these low-level PBC heavyweights. And then they're saying if he beats that guy, he's going to fight Luis King Kong Ortiz. And then they're saying if he beats him, then maybe they'll have a trilogy with Anthony Joshua, right? A big trilogy with Anthony Joshua. Now, obviously, that's a fight that could possibly happen for Andy Ruiz. Like, that fight's there as long as Andy Ruiz keeps winning, right? Because obviously they have one win over each other, right? Ruiz knocked him out in the first fight. Joshua outboxed him in the second fight. So you could definitely put a rematch, although some people will probably not like a trilogy to happen because of the fact that Andy Ruiz did not really try in the rematch. What would have made it better is if the rematch was very competitive, the way the first fight was, and Andy Ruiz actually attempted to win that fight. Because in my opinion, it was like he was on cruise control. He wasn't even trying to win that fight. He made it easy for Anthony Joshua. So I don't know if people would want to see a trilogy after Andy Ruiz really didn't show up in that third fight. But Eddy Reynoso feels that he's gonna make Andy Ruiz good enough to beat Anthony Joshua in a trilogy or knock him out again. Now obviously Andy Ruiz has the ability to knock out Anthony Joshua because he did it in the first fight, but Joshua, in my opinion, already figured out the blueprint to beat Andy Ruiz because he used his legs against Andy Ruiz in the rematch, right? He understood that Ruiz is flat-footed and he's slow as hell. All right, he's slow as molasses. So in order to beat somebody who's flat-footed like that, who's slow as molasses, you got to use your legs and move and outbox him. And Andy Ruiz really couldn't do anything. He really couldn't touch Anthony Joshua in the rematch because of that movement. Now, losing weight is obviously going to help him because my biggest criticism was because he was in there overweight, it obviously slowed him down. Carrying that extra 15 pounds that he carried in the rematch was not going to make you any much faster, right? So obviously, if he goes in there slimmer, it will benefit him because it will make him slimmer. It will make him, lighter on his feet. But he has to learn how to cut the ring off, like, because Anthony Joshua will imply the same type of style in the rematch. I mean, in the trilogy that he did in the rematch, right? He will use that back foot game against Andy Ruiz and box Andy Ruiz. So Andy Ruiz is going to have to learn to cut the ring off. That's what he doesn't know how to do. He doesn't know how to cut the ring off. He's a good counterpuncher, but he's not one of those guys that stalk you, right? Like Gennady Golovkin will stalk you. He'll hunt you down. Mike Tyson knew how to cut the ring off. He'll stalk you. He'll cut you down. That's what Andy Ruiz needs to do. He needs to cut Anthony Joshua down, right? The way he was able to get Anthony Joshua the first time was because Joshua was in his face, in his grill. But now that Joshua is going to be moving around, and that's going to force Andy Ruiz to chase him and hunt him down. And Andy Ruiz is not a guy who typically fights that style. His style is of counterpuncher. He prefers you coming to him, not him chasing you down. So if Eddy Reynoso is going to have Andy Ruiz knock out Anthony Joshua, he has to teach him how to cut the ring off. And, basically hunt down, become the hunter against Anthony Joshua and hunt him down. That's the only way, in my opinion, that he's going to be able to probably win or catch Anthony Joshua. He has to get in range, all right? Because if they do fight in the future, like I said, Andy Ruiz is going to have to keep winning, though. Like, if Andy Ruiz were to lose his next fight, the trilogy will never happen. As long as Andy Ruiz keeps winning, then you could still maybe possibly get that in the future. At the same time, and also, but we don't know though, because we don't know if Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua. Maybe Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua. Then goodbye to the trilogy for he won't be the champion no more. Or maybe they could just fight for without any belts on the line. I don't know, but what do you guys think about that? Do you think Eddy Reynoso has the ability to make Andy Ruiz a better fighter? Obviously, he's a great trainer. I mean, look at what he did with Saul Canelo Alvarez. He made Saul Canelo Alvarez extremely. I mean, just look at all the tools in the box that Saul Canelo Alvarez has. All right, so he's obviously a good trainer, but is he the right fit for somebody like Andy Ruiz? Can he make Andy Ruiz a better fighter? Let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm out.